Well, welcome to Fort Harrod, guys. My project is going to be on Fort Harrod in the Revolutionary War. This is the site of the actual fort, as you can see, kind of looking around. This is the fort. Looks a little different than normal. We are here at Grand Council, where we do a reenactment of the Native Americans and the white settlers that are here coming together to try to find peace. So I'm going to show you around the fort a little bit. This series of projects will be in different sections, so I'll have the videos linked together. I'm not very good with technology and putting them all together so you can see it around. We're going to move around a little bit, and I'm going to be out of the frame for most of this, but I'll still be talking so you can actually see and enjoy the fort. The fort is in Harrodsburg, Kentucky, and is open starting this Tuesday, April 15th. It's open Wednesday through Sunday. I think it's $7 admission. It's a state park. Really cool place. Let you look around the grounds a little bit. Down there, that is the oldest Osage orange tree in America. It doesn't hold the title officially because it does have a split trunk, but that thing is huge and it's a really cool thing to see. Lincoln Marriage Temple down here. And over here where is the first pioneer cemetery in Kentucky, and there's over 200 graves in there. Fort. Let's take a little tour. I'll show you around. Now the importance of this fort is permanent settlement in Kentucky. It first started being took care of in the 1760s, but with the French and Indian War coming on, they decided they needed to leave and go back to Virginia where they could help minister up. And they come back, and then James Harrod comes into the area and he settles it, and they start building the fort here. The reason they picked this location, it's on a small hill, and it also has a natural spring inside of it, so they could constantly have plenty of good water. Very important fact. As we go into the 1770s, the war is starting to amp up, and we're looking at a chance for war breaking out. Kentucky is a major player, and the British are really flirting with the natives, trying to get them to come in and help fight with them. And the American side, the settlers, can't have that because if they lose the frontier area, they can be turned on, come swinging right around, and be trapped. And they cannot have that. So there's always the constant flirtation with the natives, the settlers, and the British trying to get together. At this fort, many great leaders were here. We have people like Simon Girty, we have people like Simon Kenton that we know were here, James Harrod, Daniel Boone had a cabin here at one time. So big famous Kentucky names are here. The plans to attack Vincennes in the war were planned here, and I'll show you where George Rogers Clark, they believe he did that in just a second. But this area holds so many keys to what the fort and the western frontier of the war was. Again, if you lose the western frontier in Kentucky, the British can sweep down with their native allies and basically sandwich the American soldiers, and in between there's no chance for them to win. And people realized that real quick. They had to hold Kentucky, they had to hold this land. Now one of the cool things is this big Kentucky cane break here. This is river cane. If you guys have read stories of settlers coming across through Kentucky, this stuff was everywhere. And as you can see, it's quite thick. You can hide in it very easily, and this was a perfect ambush place. So let's just take a little walk through here so you guys can see what it's like. You can tell if you were trying to walk through this, there's a little path cutting this one. See, there's a salt. If you're trying to walk through this stuff, plenty of places for a native set up and ambush you. And this was through Kentucky everywhere. They called it a sea of this stuff. As we're walking around, you can kind of see how it is to get through it. Kind of cool. Thought you guys might like that. Some people have never seen actual river cane. If you ever went cane pole fishing, this is what the poles are made out of. This stuff right here. I was going to show you guys the native village. It had some of the actual native structures in it, but it looks like it's closed up right now, so we'll skip that. Let's get on around a little bit. Let's keep talking about the war. So in the heart of the war, 1777, in the east, the British are still winning fairly easily. And here at Fort Harrod, there's a major siege happening. The fort is surrounded for almost a year by Shawnee and Cherokee And the reason we had this information is from the book Mooney wrote called Cherokees, Myths and Legends. The area is completely taken over. It's held for almost a year. It's completely siege style. And during this time, they're constantly firing on the place. You couldn't get out. They had to bring all that livestock in. What livestock was left outside was killed. And again, that spring comes back to be very important. That spring is pretty much the reason the fort survives. The spring kept, you had water, but also it made sure when the natives tried to set the fort on fire, you could put the fort out. If not for that, this fort may not have held. They were able to hold for an entire year. Pretty much the Shawnee and Cherokee gave up and left. And the way they did this is Cherokee would come in for a few months, surround, they'd leave, Shawnee would come in. It never was a full-out assault. We estimate about 300 warriors were here all together, but never at one time, and that comes from Mooney's book. Again, if they would have brought all 300, they probably could have took it, but they did not ever do that. Shawnee and Cherokee don't really get along that well. So the fort was able to withstand, and it was able to keep it there. After 1777, we come into George Rogers Clark and his expeditions. Let's keep moving on a little bit. It's the blacksmith area, as you can see. This would have been the ordinary, or a hotel, motel, we call it today, the tavern area. This is the curator of the park, fort manager, David. This is where all the fun would have happened at. Alright, I'm going to leave you guys here, and we will come back with another set of videos when we get back, going a little bit more into the history and detail of the place. So just keep watching them. Thanks.